Welcome everybody to Overreaction Lunes with the Compas. I'm Fernando Ramirez, joined as always by Gilbert Manzano. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? How about you? How are things going for you? You got the weekend off. You had a Thursday night game that was very eventful, to say the least, and then a firing occurred on Friday. So maybe not too much of a break. Or yeah.
I
No?
was
Yeah.
I actually like Sunday. I decided to not watch any games. I went to the Wild Animal Park out here in San Diego. So, in Escondido. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna get a little bit away. We ended up watching what was supposed to be a really good game, but it was a terrible game between Baltimore and Jacksonville, and that's it. But tonight is Monday Night Raw, then Eagles, Seahawks. But yeah, no, it's back on it. Giff Smith is now the head coach. JoJo Wooden. They
Is
made
it
an
GIF or GIF? People are want to know.
it's Giff Smith.
Okay. People are making jokes that it might be GIF.
Oh, really?
I don't know. You're not paying attention on social media? I don't blame
No,
you.
hell, I didn't pay attention to social media all weekend. No. I told you if I was gonna get away, I was gonna get away. But definitely, it's Gift Smith, JoJo Wooden. They already made their first move. They got Will Greer out of the Patriots practice squad. They signed him to their actual squad, so I was very surprised by that. I know he was with the Cowboys for a bit, and then they released Max
Duggan.
Duggan, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's supposed to be Easton speaking to us this week, but there must have been a reason why they brought in Will Greer.
Gonna say you're gonna start Will Greer. He had a nice little preseason, but at this point, who cares, right? Who doesn't matter who plays. Just kind of just end the year 3-game losing streak and they get a better draft pick.
I mean, I think if and that's the thing. I think if you ask Charger fans, oh god, uh,
We got comments already? Yeah, don't
yeah,
be shy. Drop comments if you want.
at the year's ready. Yeah. Jump
Okay,
in the
now we can
comments.
start. We can start.
I think that's what Charger fans kind of want, though. I think they want that higher draft pick. I'm sure they want it ready for some coach. I did actually see some fans are like, I hope they get a GM that will trade down. So that was pretty interesting. I'm like, damn, you guys are already telling the future
Yeah.
GM what to do. So that was pretty
It's gonna be
interesting.
different though, regardless. Like, the Chargers fans have been used to one way of operation for about 11 years. It's gonna be different.
Well, yeah, because it's all been, I mean, except for 2022 when they traded for Khalil Mack and signed JC Jackson. Other than that, there wasn't a lot of movement in the draft or in the free agency other than like a couple of years. I mean, I thought a couple of years ago they had a pretty solid 2021 when Brandon Staley first got here because it was Corey Linsley. I know Matt Filer, obviously, he had an up and down, but at the beginning, I thought he was actually pretty good. Um, but definitely going to be interesting to see kind of what direction the Spanos family decide to move. I mean, I know there's a lot of rumors. I've seen people have wish lists on who they want. I mean, I did log on actually I did watch games on Saturday. I did see that fans were really excited about Ben Johnson and what his offense did
Oh, yeah. That was a good game.
to yeah to
The
the
Broncos.
Denver Broncos. I mean, there's a lot of different things that they need to evaluate. Obviously, the Spanos family on who they want as their next GM and their next head coach, because there's a lot of names out there. There's potentially two names that separate themselves from everybody else, but it's going to be about what they think. And like I told you guys on the live on Friday, it's going to be about what's best for Justin Herbert moving forward. Who gives them the best chance with Justin Herbert to win? So that's going to be what John and Dean are going to have to sit down and evaluate. But like I told you guys, I was surprised that Tom Telesco was let go at the same time as Brandon Staley, because I thought, oh, they'll just give Tom till the end of the year, and then because of 11 years of service, and they'll let him go. But then when you think about it, yeah, it's a package deal. Both of them needed to go, and now they get a jump start on who their next general manager is going to be, who their next head coach is going to be. So yeah, a lot really to unravel there. And like I said, Tuesday is going to be the first time we talk to Giff Smith
Mm.
since taking over the job. I'm telling you, I got the email and it said we're talking to Giff Smith and then Easton Stick, and I was like, damn, like to not see head coach Brandon Staley and quarterback Justin Herbert, it still feels a
Yeah.
little bit weird. But
Times have definitely changed, and You mentioning that people are watching like Ben Johnson games. Like remember when we were all watching Brian Dable games, thinking he's gonna be Brian,
Oh my God, yeah, I
the
remember
Bills
that.
coordinator at the
You
time.
and I would be texting each other like, "So what do you think?" Yeah, I mean they're good. This that. Hey, if the Bills make the playoffs, Brady's name is going to be not Tom Brady for all you people out there.
Joe
Brady's
Brady.
name is going to Joe Brady's going to be. He was interviewed in 2021 by the
Yeah, I
Chargers
think he
and
was.
several other teams. So if they make the playoffs, I think people are going to be looking at Joe Brady again for a head coaching
Yeah,
gig.
it just shows you how surroundings really matter because he stunk it up with the Panthers when he had kind of a crappy roster. Now gets an opportunity with the Bills, and they're clicking. They're actually much better ever since they moved on from Ken Dorsey. But we'll get to them in a bit. In a bit.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. So what do you want to do? Do you want to just
Want to
continue this?
let's talk Rams, and then we'll
Okay,
get back to Chargers. Rams, won a game, so let's go with them, and then
that
we'll
was that was
get
an
more to the
interesting
chaos
game.
later.
That was an interesting
It
game.
was.
I know well, the Rams won 28-20. Stafford 25 of 33, 258, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams again. I mean, I know he had the 2 fumbles, but
Yeah,
27 carries, 152, 1 touchdown. Cooper Cup 8 for 111 and 1 touchdown. And I know obviously I saw Eric Williams' article yesterday saying that Kyron Williams is giving Todd Gurley vibes, which I can see where that's
smaller,
coming
but yeah.
from. But Gilbert, I think I saw this game when it was 20-0. And like I said, I was doing other stuff. I was at the Wild Animal Park, so I didn't see how it ended. But Jacoby Brissett, I guess, came in and gave a little bit of
Yeah,
energy.
yeah.
8 out of 10, 124, 2 touchdowns. Scary Terry, 6 catches, 141, 1 touchdown. Curtis Samuel, 5 catches, 41, 2 touchdowns. Gilbert, what the hell happened in this game?
It was kind of more of the inexperienced side of the Rams. Outside of Stafford and Cup and Donald, they're very young. So I think that closer mentality is they're still trying to figure it out. Like it really hurt them in the beginning of the season. They had a couple of losses where because they couldn't close it out, or they're trying to rally, but a bunch of mistakes occur. So they haven't really had that in a minute. Well, I guess it did maybe in Baltimore in the overtime game or in the final drive of the regulation too. But those are signs of growing pains. But they got the job done. I think that mattered. You know, the game was pretty much over. They probably let up there, kind of playing a soft defense that on Raheem Morris because Jacoby Brissett came in and just threw a couple bombs to Scary Terry, like you mentioned, and it suddenly became a ball game. And for the Rams' point of view, that kind of hurt them because they're playing now on a short week against the Saints, a big time game. All of a sudden, they're both 7-7.
In New Orleans?
No, in LA. So I'll be out
Mhm.
there on Thursday. Hopefully, that's a plan for
Will you
Thursday
be
night.
there Saturday?
Uh, I don't know, but I think I'm pushing yes because the Bills are good now, and then there's a head coaching change with the Chargers. I kind of want to see what the vibe is, but yeah, Easton Stick or Will Greer. But I'll give me a couple of days. I'm questionable, but I'm leaning yes.
And then
But
I want to see you too. Oh, thank you. I
yeah, but
appreciate that.
it's just come on, the Chargers stink. We'll get to them in a bit, but I do want to see the Bills, and the point is on the Rams. Yeah, it's kind of more of a signs of growing pains, but they did the job, and they could have rested their starters in the fourth quarter. They didn't get that luxury. Hey, but they're young, right? A bunch of young guys in Stafford and Cup and Donald. So they're very impressive for now. Like if it gets to a point, if they beat the Saints and they beat the Giants, I don't know they'll beat the 49ers in Santa Clara week 18. But yeah, Tommy DeVito could be something. They kind of all of a sudden DeVito loses the game. Nobody wants to talk about the Giants anymore. Funny how that works, but it was a fun story. But if they win those two games, they might get a chance to move to the 6th seed, Fernando, and they could play the Lions, and that could be an intriguing game there. But if the Rams play like the 49ers or the Eagles, that could be a tough matchup regardless. But they're dangerous, like Baker Mayfield said not too long ago. And they could definitely make some noise in the playoff. I'm very impressed with them. I don't know what you think about them, but they're scary offensively and a very underrated defense that needs talent, but they perform well.
Baker Mayfield, who could have thunk what would have happened? I think one person did. I don't know. But but no, I've told you all season that I think the Rams are a little bit ahead of schedule, but a veteran quarterback like that, they could make some noise. I just think they're 1 year ahead of schedule,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I mean, they're overperforming right now. So I really am interested to see what happens moving forward with them. Like I said, I want to see Rams at Lions. I think that would be interesting.
An audition for Ben Johnson again in the playoffs. There you go.
I know exactly, but but like I said, Matthew Stafford has had a. I'm surprised. Well, because of the record, I guess. But I thought he's had probably a better season than most of the quarterbacks that everybody's talking about for the MVP. It's just that their record just isn't where it's supposed to be. If they would have beaten the Ravens last week, I think they'd be making a little bit more noise for him. But I definitely think that he's done a great job. I think like Cooper Cup, everybody was kind of wondering what Cooper Cup was going to be this season, especially after all the injuries, and he's back to playing at a high level. And then obviously
I don't
Puka
know if you
Nacua,
saw that play, but he was super wide open on his touchdown pass. The
I
Commanders just gave
I
up on
was a
him.
little nervous, like when Matthew Stafford threw that. I actually thought he was like he could drop it just because
Yeah,
of
he
how
was like,
open he was. Yeah. And I was kind of like, and then he was able to make
it's
the
like a
grab.
layup, and it's like a layup in basketball. You're wide open, like you
Exactly,
can't, but you can't dunk, you can't miss it.
exactly. So, but like I told you, the young defense that's inexperienced or starting to gain some experience, but I'm sure they can make some noise. But everything's gonna be about Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams is going to be that engine that makes that. I think they struggled right when Kyron was out.
Yeah, they were not the same
Um,
offense.
exactly. So if he can stay healthy, I think they give you that attack that you need, the aerial attack, and then obviously on the ground. So, and then obviously they're coached by Sean McVay. So I think they're going to be fine. It's just a matter of what, obviously if they can calm the nerves. And again, jumping out to a 20-0, I think it was 20-0, but then letting them kind of stick around and everything. I mean, you were able to put it away,
Yeah, you're
but
right. 20-0.
still, I mean, that's a little bit nerve wracking, just barely being able to win 28-20. But
Yeah.
hey, it happens in the NFL. Now it's a short week. Time to get on to time to get on to Thier Jesus. Time to move on to the
Saints.
Saints, like you said, on a short week. Derek Carr comes back. He beat them last Thursday night.
Oh,
Was
it's
it?
kind of like
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
of
yeah.
a revenge game for him, but
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what this Thursday is going to tell you a lot about where the Rams are kind of headed, I
yeah,
think. Because the Saints are kind of also teetering up and down a little bit. Like they
yeah.
have some good games, but then they have some stinkers as well. And you're like, so who the hell is this team? I feel like the Rams are also like kind of on that as
Yeah.
well.
If you beat the Saints, you're definitely better than average. If you lose to the Saints, you're probably maybe below average or just
Yeah.
about average. Because the Saints are kind of definition of an average team. I was surprised they were still there, but hanging around because I feel like for them the only ways to get in is the division title, NFC South, and not
Yeah.
here they are. The NFC South might get two teams in because the Buccaneers are rolling, and the Saints are 500. But Fernando Victor told me a stat, yesterday on House of Horns that the defenses keep playing with boxes. Yeah, boxes. There you go. Whatever against Kyron Williams, and it's like haven't they picked up that Kyron Williams was actually the focal point of the offense? Stop playing with a light
No.
box against, and because they have respect for Stafford, Cup, and Puka, but I'm like, this team is built off of Kyron Williams. People should catch up on that. I'm not no defensive coordinator, but maybe think stop the run first and then try to beat the pass.
Athir, I'm gonna get to you in a second. We're on like as soon as we're done with Rams and we jump over to Chargers, I will answer all those.
Yeah, somebody
So
Robert has a comment here, or he has a comment.
well, yeah, we'll get to that also in a second. But yeah, I mean, they're a good team. It's just that I think everybody's still scared of, not scared, but like what makes them nervous is like Puka Nakua and Higby and Cooper Cup, and they know the aerial attack is good. There, I think the closer and closer we get, I think like New Orleans, I bet you New Orleans will stack well, you're welcome, Athir. I like that. I appreciate that. I think as soon as they get to like playing the Saints, I think the Saints will stack the box a little bit more. This is also when you have talented defenses, that's what happens. I feel like the Commanders have lost a little bit of spunk since Montez Sweat, and
Yeah,
then the Bears simultaneously have gained a little bit more on defense since the
yeah.
addition of Montez Sweat. So yeah, moving forward, I think Kyron Williams is going to be a big part of this team. I think he is the focal point, but now it's going to be about short week. What can they do against the Saints? Like I said, I think the Saints game is going to be is going to tell you everything about where this Rams team is headed. But right now, it looks like it's heading to the playoffs.
Yeah, should be a fun ride. Let's see what they do in the next 2 weeks.
All right, Athir. Okay, I'm gonna freaking Yeah, you told me so. What did I tell you? Who could Gilbert? Would you have predicted that the Raiders would beat them 63-21?
No, yeah,
Nobody would
I
have thought
picked the
that was
Raiders
going to
to
happen.
win, but not that bad.
Exactly. So that's what sped up everything. Them losing because I think Schefter said on the Pat McAfee show that they had already considered it twice. I think after Green Bay and after Baltimore, and they did it after this one. This one was an annihilation. Obviously, they were going to do it. So yeah,
So
you
is
told
that
me,
you're
but
saying that he's right about the in-season firing? Is that what he's
yeah,
trying to
you're
claim here?
saying that
Okay,
he's right about the in-season
yeah,
firing, but I'm kind of like, well, nobody knew that was going to
yeah.
happen. But
That it was one of those like, okay, you can't mess around and have and give people time for the
yeah,
rest of the
so
year.
I'll give him that. Of the year, I'll give it to you. Whatever. I said if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen after the season. It happened in season, but you were kind of at the point of no return. So I mean, what do you want from me? Jalen Hurts will play tonight,
Oh,
according to Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo. So
they need that
uh,
win tonight because the
they
Cowboys
really
lost.
do need that win, especially with the Cowboys losing to the Bills, which we'll get into. What's up? What's up, bro? Other than the Chargers sucking, tank or just play like you're playing. I don't think they have to tank, Robert. Like,
Yeah,
I think they just stick the course and the way they're going, and I'm sure they'll get a high draft pick.
a lot of teams lost that they needed to win this weekend because they
Yeah,
kind of fell right.
yeah.
They're like number 8 or 9 right now in the
They're
draft
8 right
order.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
they
they were
needed like the Giants to win one. They needed the Commanders to win one.
yeah
But
the
like
Bears.
if you look at all those other schedules though, it feels like each one of those teams might win one more game. Their Chargers
Yeah, yeah.
win was going to be the Raiders. If not, that's it.
What's the final three for the Chargers? Chiefs, Bills, and one more Broncos, right?
At Denver.
Yeah, easy losses
Yeah.
for sure. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
Second, Spanos is not playing games anymore. He will get Harbaugh or Ben Johnson and a great GM.
Oh yeah, all of a sudden not playing games, huh? At the year,
Yeah, I don't know about this one. We'll
he's
see
not
at the
new
year.
as an owner, you know.
Yeah, like this is he's hired a couple of head coaches before, and
Three
they
first
haven't all
timers
come.
the last 11 years, right?
Yeah, first timers the last three, then Norval Turner, and then Marty Schottenheimer before that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, that last one I can't put up there with here. I'm not gonna tell somebody else how to run their team. Chargers need a culture changing coach and GM. No, and that's exactly
Yeah,
Young West. Thank you so much for your comment. That's exactly what Gilbert and I said on the live with Dan and Dago on Fridays, that they need somebody who's going to change the culture. I mean, that's something that they haven't had in years. I feel like, I mean, I've heard things from being around these guys for so long. Norv was kind of passive. I think Anthony was that was a little bit more of a hard ass and a player's coach. Mike was also kind of a pushover. And
by the way,
Brad,
fam, I don't know if you
yeah,
caught this, but on the broadcast, the Colts Steelers game, they mentioned that Shane Steichen is really close with North Turner, and he's always talking to
I
him for
did.
guidance. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no. And again, North Turner was a phenomenal OC. He just wasn't a good head coach. It failed for him numerous times. He's a great offensive mind. He did a lot of great things, but just when it came to being a head coach, some guys are destined to be assistant coaches. Some guys are
Yeah.
destined to be like that. Not everybody becomes a head coach, and it's one of those things where I don't know. I just don't know. And that's the thing, is that the Chargers could take this numerous ways. I just don't know what route they're gonna go.
Especially GM is tricky, man. They had the same dude for 11 years, like, and then saying like they're gonna reinvent themselves, have a different imagination. Like, which way could that be? You know, like what are you looking for? Something from like the Shanahan system, maybe
exactly.
more of the Rams, maybe more of Baltimore. Who knows?
Well, and I just don't
Eagles.
see them. I just don't see them. I don't see them going like JoJo Wooden. There's no way you can, like, if you rejected the Tom Telesco, like you said, that's it, 11 years too much. Like JoJo Wooden to me wouldn't get like the general manager of, because that's basically Tom Telesco's right hand
Yeah,
man
yeah, yeah.
sliding
It has
right
to be
in there.
different. Yeah,
So yeah, it has to be something different.
it'd be nice if he gets
Um,
a chance somewhere else. So
yeah, but I mean, so obviously, they had Bobby Beathard as their GM back in the late '90s, or during the '90s, and they had Buddy Nix as their general manager. Those guys were able to put together like basically they were able to put together a great team, and that's the team that you saw in the early to middle 2000s that just dominated the not dominated, but like they were a good team, and that's kind of what you need. You need guys that are going to come in, guys that are going to change they're going to change the dynamic of this team, and that's going to be interesting to see if what the Chargers decide to do with this head coaching search and general
Yeah.
manager. But
You,
I'm
you
sure
know,
they've already gotten started.
this is a good way to view it though. If they're swinging big for like a Harbaugh or Bill Belichick, like say they hire the coach first, then that tells you they hired a big name because that big name is going to pretty much control what GM comes in and say, all right, I need this person to be in line with my thinking, so I'm not taking the job unless I know or I get to pick the GM. So it could be kind of a weird dynamic because then you give the head coach a lot of the power, like, all right, GM, you do your thing, but before you're done signing off, come to me and I'll say go ahead and do it. So that's what Bill Belichick has had. I'm guessing Jim Harbaugh will probably command that. With the Raiders, Josh McDaniels kind of got that with Dave Ziegler. So, these coaches, it kind of takes a lot for you to get and pull out of their current system or a spot. They're gonna have a say with the GM. So I think if they go get a Harbaugh or a Bill Belichick or they're trying to do more coaching searches first, Fernando, I think it's gonna be a big telltale sign of like they're going a big name or not. Or sometimes some teams have to go, we need our GM first. We need a GM to come in and then start building that way, the traditional way. So if you do that, maybe it's more of a first timer coach. So maybe that could be kind of a tell sign right there.
Well, it is what it's also going to be telling is what happens. Like I don't see them trading for Bill Belichick. I think that like a first rounder, like the eighth pick overall,
I
like
think
that
I think
might
they're gonna
be
split ways at the end.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But then on the flip side of that, like let's just throw out a name like Harbaugh, like what happens January 1st against Alabama if they lose to Alabama, because they're saying that like the talk keeps on coming up that he's going to be suspended for next year. So why would you want to stay at
Yeah,
Michigan and
right.
not
That's
coach for
true.
a year? So I feel
Yeah.
like that's what's going to have him coming back to the NFL. The only thing is, one, can they pay him the money? Two, is he basically going to say, "Look, get out of my way. Let me do this. I'll build this team with a general manager that he hand selects." Because like the Bears have somebody in their front office that he doesn't get along with. So I'd be surprised if he went to the Bears. I think he was like the Big Ten president or something like that, and
Oh,
he just didn't get along with Harbaugh.
yeah.
But if that has Harbaugh coming back to the NFL, all that's going to be interesting. I think it'll take 10 million a year to get Harbaugh out at least out of Michigan. But
Did you see that story from the Athletic saying that I think it was Diana Rossini saying, "Oh, people are texting me that I want to be the one coaching Justin Herbert, and everybody's wants that job because if you have the quarterback, everything's gonna be much easier." So, yeah, maybe Harbaugh does it because of Justin Herbert. That's a big piece to have.
well, and not just that. And Young West said, "Is Herbert enough to attract a good coach?"
Oh, there he goes.
So he read your mind. Um, the thing with Harbaugh is there's so many variables, and it's all going to be on the Spanos family and what they feel like is like can they pay that money out to him and give like this is basically going to be a hey, John's going to take a step back a little bit and then we're going to let the head coach run this show. That's just not the way they've done it in the past, but who knows? I mean, maybe they change their ways, but I just don't, because I've been around for it for so long and I've seen them kind of business as usual kind of stuff. I don't know if they do it, but like I said, that January 1st game will be very telling for that. Obviously, the day after the what do they call it, Black Monday, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bill Belichick, and then obviously, how long do you want to wait for Ben Johnson if that's one of your guys that you feel like
Yeah, like these
is
guys on a
good? Because
playoff run. Like, how long are you gonna wait?
no, and I think you're not allowed to talk to them until after the playoffs are until they're eliminated.
Yeah, or have like
Like
a week off. Remember, like a bye week or
okay,
before
yeah,
the week
that
of the
too.
Super
But
Bowl,
remember how
something like that.
before, like coaches would talk to,
Yeah.
or they would have head coaching candidates like Wednesday or Tuesday when the team was off. I don't think they do that anymore. I think what it is now you wait until they're completely out of the playoffs to talk to them. So that's gonna be interesting to see
Supposedly
how
they're
long.
trying to change the rules to make it like you can't hire anybody until February to make it fair for everybody. But that's such a long time to wait.
Yeah, especially because I mean February comes along and what happens right after the Super Bowl? It's the
Right to
combine
the
and you have to
combine.
be yeah, you have to get and then you have to start hiring scouts, getting scouts out to pro days and all that stuff. So it's just gonna be a lot. I think it'd be too much to like have somebody wait till February. I mean,
They will,
I don't
Rudy,
know.
when Bill Belichick is the head coach and McDaniel's the OC.
But yeah, I mean, and then Ben Johnson as well. The guy from McDonald, like McDonald
Yeah,
was
Mike McDonald's a good defense, man. They
yeah.
really smothered Trevor Lawrence last night, but I know he kind of messed it up on his own.
Jim or Ben are my pick. Bill's getting old. Will not change his style of coaching. Um, yeah, I mean, well, to be completely honest, Dean and Bill are only 3 years apart, and if people think that Dean's going to change his way of thinking now, then maybe Bill can change his way of coaching. So I just don't know. I just don't know if that's the thing. And we haven't spoken to them in a long time. So I don't know what their
Man.
mindset is, obviously. And
I think it's our friend from Ireland. Is that
I
where they're
think it
from?
is. Yeah, I think it is our friend from
Well, that's
Ireland.
actually a good point. You might get scared off. But they did have an injury in the interior defensive front, by the way, and they got ran on by the Bills. Man, it could be something there, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that this one's interesting. A fear, yes. Anytime you ask questions, we put them up there. Unless you're taking shots at somebody that we work with or are there, we're not gonna show it. But we answer all your questions at the ear.
What's
One
up,
thing is
Johnny G? I see your comment though.
yeah. Johnny G, what's up, dude? One thing is for sure, our draft picks have to hit. Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, they're gonna have draft picks this year. They're gonna have to hit. I know, like I said, people are saying trade down, trade down. They don't even know who's there. That's the thing. And the funny part is, Gilbert, when people say like trade down already, kind of like you don't even know who's there yet.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like I understand you need more picks and everything, but what if there's a game changer that ends
yeah.
up
Watching
sliding
Sam
right to you?
Laporta keep the other day makes me feel like maybe Brock Bowers might be the dude.
You know, it's funny. And I've said that about what did I tell you guys earlier in the season? Like when they had Austin Hooper as their number one tight end, I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing to the Raiders?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, Michael
yeah. Michael
Mayer
Mayer,
is,
dude.
and Michael Mayer in the last 3 or 4 weeks has
Well,
really come on for
that's
them.
Josh McDaniels. He wouldn't play the rookies for some reason. Then like they trade. I mean, they do the switch and Trey Tucker and Michael Mayer. They're going off.
Like I saw the frustration from Falcons fans last night on Twitter. They were
Oh,
pissed off at Arthur Smith.
dude, I memorized the stat line. Bijan Robinson like 7 carries, 11 yards. Drake London 2 catches, 24 yards. Kyle Pitts 3 catches, 37 yards. That is a terrible coach wasting prime players.
Who gets fired? Which one do you think makes it out? Because both have said that. Well, a lot of people think that neither one should be. Well, I've heard some people say that neither one of them should be fired. But who survives, Salah or Arthur Smith?
Ugh. The Falcons are that owner is very patient too, and kind of little Dean Spano vibes too. But I'll say Salah because I think Aaron Rodgers wants the same regime to stay, which might be hard to do. And then Arthur Smith just got to go, man. Like it's not his fault they couldn't get him a franchise quarterback, but your rushing attack is not even working. That was your bread and butter. So Bijan
Did you,
Robinson is doing nothing.
did you see the video of Garrett Wilson like get like when he was talking to Aaron Rodgers and he just looked so pissed off? Like,
I wonder what they were saying. I want to know.
yeah, I'm like, I wish I had the audio for
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. People like
The
that question, by the way.
both get fired.
I
The
kind of like Salah too, but like it's been a rough year.
yeah, Salah as a defensive coordinator would be interesting. Brock would be cool, or trade up and get Harrison, the junior or Jr. Neighbor's
Neighbor,
another guy that I've seen
is
that
that
people
what it
really
is?
like.
Who's
Huh?
Jr.? Is Junior? Is it Gabe Neighbors?
Harrison Jr. He's saying I think Harrison
Oh, I
Jr.
said comma Junior. Yeah, the
Yeah,
good
yeah,
grammar. I like it.
yeah. The new coach and GM will get a pass in the first year because of the mass hands. Oh, so Athir's asking, do you think the new head coach and the GM will get a pass in the first year because of the mess that they're going to inherit?
uh,
And that's to you, not to me.
oh, okay. I guess we're being specific. You would think, right? You can't just fire the gym after a year, or like, unless it goes like Frank Wright south, like really that bad, then maybe you could. But no, you give him one more year. But you do want to see results early. Like you want to see like the Herbert numbers to do better. And I was trying to read up on a bunch of pieces about what people thought about the Brandon Staley firing, and I think I saw a story where like, yeah, they could have had like why didn't Staley bring in more like a Kyle Shanahan scheme or McVay? Like he was with McVay. Why not bring a scheme like that? And you go get a Joe Lombardi and you're trying to do the same scheme and it really kind of hurt.
Well, he tried.
Herbert. And it was actually not a bad scheme year one, right? It was just a lot of
Yeah.
dinking and dunking, but he threw 5,000 yards. So, but yeah, that was my point for now. He did try to get a bunch of coordinators. So I think when you whiff on not getting Mike McDaniel or Kevin O'Connell and you're forced for your third or fourth option, that's where they were stuck at. But that was an inexperience of Staley not having kind of a big connection of coaches. But you want to make sure that coach brings in the right scheme right away. That was my point. Like if you're one of that scheme is clicking and vibing and doing well, then you can't fire anybody regardless of the record.
I saw somebody comment on one of my videos. I forgot when this happened. I think it's when the Chargers played the Broncos. I had a video where Drew Brees says that that Joe Lombardi has like a plethora of plays and his book is just humongous and everything and fans just started crapping on the video. They're like, "Oh yeah, Drew Brees, tell us some more about how good Lombardi is and stuff like that." And I started laughing. Like, Jesus, fans are still angry at him. Think JT Woods will ever whatever miss? I don't know about JT Woods. I mean, and without Staley here anymore, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But illness has kind of gone around. Like all of a sudden, like Jazir Taylor had an illness. Other guys have had illness, and that's what they say. They just say illness. Like Jalen Hurts right now, they say is interesting. But we have drafted so many guys who don't contribute. Yeah, that's interesting. That's Young West. That's actually interesting. You say that.
NBA tall players.
they have drafted a lot of players that just don't play. I mean, or they don't play well.
Yeah, people didn't really like Staley talking to Steve Kerr in the offseason, huh? I've noticed that.
Yeah, no, people were kind of
people are not happy. Go talk to a football
the
coach.
way they came out, I think, and then obviously people are pissed off at Steve Kerr because of the whole Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Stephen A. Like, I don't know, they all have beef with Stephen A. right now. I don't know why. Like, I just saw Stephen A. responded. And that's all I saw. But yeah, people are mad about that. But yeah, that's what Gilbert and I and Dan were talking about the other day. That this team has not drafted well. I mean, you look at their past drafts, and they're just not like one player kind of saves the draft. Like Derwin kind of saves that draft. Herbert saves his draft. Keenan saves his draft. So that's just the way this kind of has gone during the Tom Telesco era. And then there's some drafts that are unsavable. 14, 15. By the way, Melvin Gordon is going to be elevated now that Mitchell. I think.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
yeah, and he's going to be the next guy. Bye, guys. Have a great time.
Whatever, Rudy. You're gonna lose in the second round, anyways.
Oh, am I in the Sacco?
I don't know. I haven't checked up on you. We're in the consolation bracket, so yeah.
Oh well, I completely forgot about fantasy football.
I don't blame you. It's consolation bracket, but if Alonso jumps on, he might have a problem with you. He keeps track of everybody who plays or not.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's the roster police, by the way.
Oh well, there's been firing, so I apologize for that. Do you guys think? See, that's the thing. I don't know. They could have they could have restructured Keenan and not restructure, but like give new contracts to Keenan and to Khalil. But like, dude, Khalil and Keenan are getting up there. Do they want to stay and see what the new head coach is going to bring, or do they want to move on and go try and win a Super Bowl? That's going to be interesting about them. So we'll see what happens there.
He is watching. There he is.
Oh, he is watching. I'll say. Wait, when? Next week or this week?
You're not even in the playoffs. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. If I'm not in the playoffs, what does this all really mean? But Josue, back to what you were saying.
Yeah,
it's just going to depend on if guys want to come back, and then obviously what they're going to do with everybody else. But
also probably get a draft pick for Khalil Mack. By the way, he's playing well. Just got to eat the money though.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is that like, but what if a coach comes in and he's like, hey, you know what? I can revive this, get one final push out of him, out of everybody else, and maybe we can make a run at it. But that's
a salary cap. That's the massive part. Like you're going to ask him to take a pay cut. Like how's that going to work? It's going to be tricky.
I'm telling you that one thing that Tom Telesco did. Well, one of the things that Tom Telesco did well was the salary cap was always, except for this year, it was always.
Maybe it was kind of like, hey, it's my last year, so YOLO.
All in and everything. Yeah. They have to wait another wasted year for Herbert while we're at it. Yeah. No, that's completely
gotta make it work. Yeah, and then I know somebody. Yeah, who was it? They're asking the question about winning in their first year. They could do it, man. The Colts and the Texans, they're all competing year one with rookie coaches. So yeah, go win year one.
Dan and Dago, how about my Ravens? You don't want to hear what Dan and Dago has to say about the Ravens. Actually, if you do,
That
make
was
sure
more
you
about the Jaguars being terrible. I'm done with the Jaguars.
check out the pod tomorrow because Dan is gonna have a little bit of something to say about the Ravens and the Jaguars. All right, Gilbert, we spent enough time on this. Let's head over
Yeah, I
to
totally forgot we got other games, but yeah,
yeah.
we don't have to spend too much time on these crappy games because the
Uh,
Bills crushed the Cowboys.
you know what? I mean, I kind of thought the whole season that the Cowboys were frauds, but I think this is more about the Bills than it is the Cowboys.
Oh, interesting.
Why? Because the Bills showed a different way to win yesterday, and I was actually really impressed by it. I mean, they ran the football. Gilbert, what have we been all saying? If they can just find a way to run the football, this team is going to be a lot more effective. That's what they did. They ran the football. And last week against the Chiefs, I had said, wow, James Cook was really impressive. And then boom, this week, James Cook again. So there you go. James Cook.
179 rushing yards.
Yeah. 179, one touchdown. Josh Allen also had a touchdown. Latavius Murray had a touchdown. Josh Allen only had to throw 15 times. He did it for 94 yards.
That's
So that was
wild to
pretty.
me. That's a
Yeah,
different team. They would have lost that game in other years if he only had 94 yards.
100%. But this, for some reason, they've really turned it on as of late, and they're playing really good football right now, Gilbert. And man, I'll tell you one thing, Gilbert, and I'm doing it right now. I'll say it right now.
All right.
That game between the Miami and the Buffalo Bills is going to be win and get in. You lose and you're out.
I want to see that happen. Miami has to lose either against the Cowboys next week or the Ravens.
When they lose.
All right. Maybe they lose both. I don't know about the Cowboys. I'm forgetting about them. But
that Ravens game, I think they'll lose.
Yeah.
Because they don't beat winning teams. Well, I don't even know if they can beat the Cowboys. They don't beat winning teams.
But you know one thing here for now, because I'm thinking about your brother here, and it's a credit to your brother, because the last time we were on the Bills bandwagon, what did they do? They go and lose, 3 out of 5, and they start becoming pretenders. What did they lose to the Chargers? What did they lose to the Patriots and blow it? I don't know. But they just kind of feel like when they get you the Bills to believe, they tend to mess it up.
I don't know about believing. I just think that right now they're playing good football, and I think they've gone back to their strengths, I think. And the defense is playing well as well.
Yeah,
so I'm very
they have
impressed.
a bunch of injuries, and that's a credit to McDermott, who was in the hot seat 2 weeks ago, I felt like.
Athir, you have the Ravens beating the 49ers? Shanahan is overrated.
Oh.
Athir. You're falling for that trap, Athir. I wasn't too impressed with the Ravens yesterday, but we'll get into that in a second.
How about this? Do you think the Bills are the best team in the AFC, and they're the 9th team right now in the AFC?
The AFC? No.
Ravens?
I might give that to be honest, I think the Browns are one of the best teams in the AFC.
That's not a bad
right
pick. Okay.
But I think if the
Ravens, how about the
I think if the Browns are able to get guys back, and Joe Flacco is going to have something to say about the Ravens, but I'll go with the Ravens just because I like that defense. Their offense to me just doesn't seem like it's all that good. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But I do think that the Bills are good. I just think that the Bills could. Well, I think they'll blow out the Chargers. I think they'll blow out the Patriots, and then
they lost to the Patriots earlier this year. That's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I think this last game, I think it's going to be. Well, the only reason why the Patriots were in that game against the Chiefs because the Chiefs kept on giving the ball away on their own half. So,
I meant the Patriots beat the Bills earlier this year, but my bad. The Patriots were hanging around for a bit against the Chiefs yesterday.
Yeah. And any good team would have beaten the Chiefs yesterday. Like the Chiefs do not look good right now. They are not good. So,
you know what I was thinking earlier? Speaking of the Chiefs game, like I think maybe Sam Laporta might be the best tight end this year because Kelsey hasn't really done anything this year. And then, maybe George Kittle could get that, but yeah, I was surprised how poorly Kelsey played too yesterday.
I'm not. Did you see that video? Everybody was like celebrating Taylor Swift for yelling.
Screaming?
Yeah, and I'm like, they're like, all of a sudden she went from, oh, I hope both teams do well to, oh, F the refs.
I know, right? Learn the rules.
They're still complaining about the refs and Matthew Judon. I saw had multiple tweets about the referees yesterday. So
Didn't
yeah,
have like
no,
a bad
Robert.
drop too in that game. I know we're not talking
Yeah,
Chiefs, but yeah.
Robert, we agree. We don't think and then they just lost Sky Moore, which Sky Moore hasn't really done all that, but like Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, like their only guy is
Oh,
Rice. I
Kadarius
mean,
Toney dropped ball for an interception. I think almost a pick six, and Holmes
yeah.
lost it again.
And then the guy tried to pitch it backwards. I'm like, what are you doing? Ravens still have one of the best defenses. Mitchell being done with the ACL, and then yeah, they do, but that's the thing, because I think they said Mark Andrews wouldn't be back until the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
So
that'd
that'll be
big.
interesting to see what.
Likely is good though. Isaiah Likely really impressed me
No,
yesterday.
he made 2 catches yesterday that I was like, oh wow. The one where that should have been intercepted, but the guy mistimed his jump. The one that
Oh yeah.
yeah, the one. Did she really? If you misspell, I think I don't think he meant to misspell this
Hey
name.
Robert, are you from Missouri? Cool.
Just moved to my state of Missouri. I don't know if she did. Maybe she moved in with him. But that breakup song is gonna be interesting. But I'm
Yeah,
definitely
I just saw a report that Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner broke up. So who knows?
good. Travis Swift. Maybe you should put that on the back of his jersey. By the way, I saw Ricky Williams just took his wife's name to her last name. So his last name isn't Williams, it's her last name. So
Oh yeah.
I thought it was what's it called? I thought it was like in Hot Tub Time Machine, Nick Weber hyphen Agnew. It's not Nick Weber Agnew, it's Nick
Oh, yeah, I
Weber.
remember that. That was a good move.
But Alan, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alan.
No, and honestly, it's all you guys that make this content amazing. Robert, Athir, our homie from Chile, our other
We got a friend in Montreal, Ireland. We're all over the world.
Yeah.
We're worldwide. The Compas.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny? I was looking at What's Up Boats the other day, and I think 3% from our listeners come from Asia. I was surprised.
Really?
I was like, oh wow. I'm like, that's or 1%, 2%, something like that. But it was interesting. But back to the Bills. I just think that the Bills are kind of getting hot at the right time. It's always about getting hot at the right time, and I feel like they are. But if they have the dynamic like the Rams do of running the football, I think they're going to do fine, and I think they're going to get even better. So I'm interested in the Chiefs or the Bills. But going back to the Cowboys, they're just it's always the same thing. And I mean, honestly, I really don't understand. Like the Cowboys play well there at home, but when they travel, that's where they just fall apart. That's why I don't have confidence in them beating any good teams, just because they're gonna have to travel, and I don't think they're gonna be able to do that. So, like if they have to travel to San Francisco, I don't expect them to win that game. If they have to travel elsewhere, I just don't see it. So, and you guys actually try and read all the comments, which we appreciate that. No, and like that's why we started doing this show. Gilbert had a great idea. He's like, hey, let's go live on Mondays. Let's get people in here. Let's get them talking, and we'll shout them out and do comments. So Kelsey will change his last name to Swift. There's a lot more marketing there. So definitely. I think Athir, I think I'm actually supposed to be on there next week. So you want me to bring that up? Why? What? Oh, I mean, I can.
Here does test you though with the reading like a paragraph here, but we
I know,
love Athir. He gets it going. He's like the hype man. We don't pay Athir to do it, but he gets the comments going. So
Chelsea will change it. You know what's funny? That Raiders game. Raiders are coming off that they're juiced up,
and they're gonna go play. Jack, by the way, sorry.
They're gonna go play on Monday night. They're gonna go play the Chiefs. That's gonna be an interesting game.
Oh yeah, that's
them all hyped up going to yeah. I think it's a Monday night game before.
No, I think it's the first one from that triple header, but I can't remember the second one.
Let me tell you.
There's three on Christmas Day.
Oh, there are?
Yeah, but I can't remember the second one.
I might not go anywhere then. Let's see, 25th. Raiders, Chiefs, Giants, Eagles, Ravens, 49ers. I feel bad for Athir. Athir's going to be so sad after the Ravens.
Hey, real quick, Jack, let me know if they should keep Antonio Pierce. I'm on board. I want to see Pierce get the full-time job.
Oh, yeah, Jack, that actually is interesting. Let us know what you think on that one. Because they don't believe me. Dave Pele thinks I'm crazy. Oh, Oh, Athir, you're cheating on us? You go other
Yeah, he
places?
goes to different shows.
I
Pick
know
one
for
already.
I feel like Athir like starts shit on every other show. Like he's
I
like, I'm
know.
not just gonna. He just goes everywhere else and
Yeah,
starts
he
shit
makes like
too.
the co-hosts fight with each other, and then one of them breaks up.
Christmas game is the Chief. Yeah, yeah. That's the first game. Second game is Tommy DeVito at the Eagles, and then the last one is Ravens at 49ers, which is going to be a banger of a game.
Ooh,
That's going to
yeah,
be
can't wait.
a
I
very
think we're gonna find out though. There's levels to it, and the 49ers are on a different level. I
yeah.
don't. I don't
That, so I'm gonna go. Okay, so as soon as the Ravens game or the Chiefs game is over, or once they kind of put it away, or they whatever happens in that game, then I'll go to my aunt's house, and then I'll be back by the Monday Night Football
there you go.
or Sunday night. Well, yeah, Monday Night Football.
But
But
before we go to Ravens,
what do you
Jags,
think?
I was gonna say real quick on what? Sorry,
No, 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 no.
on this one.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about the Cowboys and the Bills? Like, what are
Yeah, I just want
your
to say real quick, the Bills, if they make it, I think I'm gonna believe in them and say, like you mentioned, the Browns or the Ravens might be my teams here to make it out of AFC. I don't believe in Miami. I don't believe in Jacksonville or even in KC. They got too many problems there. But the Cowboys, I'm done. I give up. Divisional round, flame out. Maybe they lose to your Buccaneers, like you mentioned, the 4 or 5 matchup. They're gonna be the 5th seed, Fernando. They still have to play Detroit, have to play Miami. Same old story here. And Dak Prescott MVP evaporated. So yeah, that's it.
Robert? I love those guys. I actually went to school with Josh. Josh and I went to school together, and I know Dave from San Diego stuff and being down here. So those guys are awesome. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to be on next Tuesday. So yeah, those guys are awesome, and so make sure you check that out. Athir says that Bill Belichick will be the head coach of the Raiders.
Oh
Uh,
wow, that'd be interesting.
that
Well, he
that
can't bring his buddy back, Josh McDaniels, but then again, Vance Joseph went back to the Broncos with Sean Payton, so never know.
exactly, exactly. Uh, are you asking or are you talking? Yeah, like so I live in Chula Vista and so does Josh, and we both went to school at East Lake High School. So that's how we both kind of know each other. Okay, so
There you go.
Jack said as a Raiders fan, need to keep AP as the head coach. He is leaders of men unlike McDaniels or I'll call McShit nuts.
Not a bad name.
That's a great one. I
But
love that.
okay, so I'm not a little out there when I say keep AP, so cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Our compa from Ireland, we do not know yet if Will Clap is done. We will. I'll ask that definitely on. I'll ask that on Tuesday. So make sure you stay tuned. And then on Wednesday, the preview show with Dan and Dago and I. It's going to come out earlier this week, because they do play on Saturday. So make sure you tune into that. Oh, Robert. Yeah. No. No. I feel you. Yeah. No, yeah. So Josh and I have never mentioned it on there, but yeah, we went to high school together. We have mutual friends, and Josh and Dave have honestly been great with me. So I definitely I love those guys, and those guys are awesome. So yeah, they're two of the better guys that I know from in San Diego. So and then Dave's awesome as one of the media people that I know. Tom Brady interviewing Bill Belichick would be funny. Yeah,
It
that
would be.
actually would be.
What
Like
what's your resume? What have you done in your career?
not just that, but like, can we get a off-season Hard Knocks where
Ooh.
they kind of bring in the cameras and you see Tom Brady interviewing Bill Belichick, and you just see as soon as Bill Belichick walks in, you just see Mark Davis.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. Well, Tommy, as you know, 6 Super Bowl champions with you. Yeah,
By the way,
that's my Bill Belichick impersonation.
I saw that video where they asked him about J.C. Jackson, and they're like, I'm not gonna say more than that. I'm just gonna leave it there. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
damn.
I think Bill's probably gonna go Commanders. That's my guess too. I feel like, but you never know.
Dave and Josh remind me of an old married couple. That's funny. That's kind of how Dan and Dago. Well, no, Dan and Dago and I aren't really like that. But yeah, no, they're definitely those guys are hilarious. All right. So you're out on the Cowboy.
Yes, I am. Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
So
Jack, you're
maybe you
amazing.
don't. I've heard people say they don't want Jaden Daniels because he comes out of LSU, Jamarcus Russell, which I think is a little unfair, but yeah.
Josh, we need you to, or Jack, sorry, Jack, we need you to come back more often. You're making this
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, good seeing you, Jack.
But all right, Ravens against the. Athir, I feel like every single time, every week, we get a bold prediction from you, and I love it. Keep it going.
Sometimes they're
Ravens
not so
cruise
bold.
versus the fraud Jaguars. I thought this game. I still think Trevor Lawrence is a great talent. I think he's very good. I just think the weapons around him aren't all there. Like Calvin Ridley's good. They have some good pieces, but I think they need more. But Trevor Lawrence, 25 of 43, 264, one touchdown. Agnew had that big 65-yard touchdown catch. USD, University of San
Oh,
Diego's Jamal Agnew.
that
Two
was
catch,
it, Fernando. That was the entire game.
yeah, two catches, 70 yards, one touchdown. Um, Lamar Jackson, 14 to 24, 171, one touchdown, one pick. He led rushing, 12 carries, 97 yards. Likely 570, one touchdown. It's funny because Dan and Dago got dogged a couple of weeks ago by Ravens fans because he said that he takes off and runs. And last time we were watching the game, and he literally is like, bro, am I lying? Look what he's doing. And that's exactly what he was doing. But I just started laughing. Chargers and Steelers in Brazil next year. I don't know. I think they'd pick something different for that game, but I mean, it just depends on who the other team is that has a lot of fans in Brazil. But that's not actually a bold pick, Athir. I actually don't think that's far off. But
At this part, Fernando, he is a fumbling machine. 3
yeah,
interceptions against the Browns and 2 fumbles yesterday. The first one, he just dropped it out of nowhere. They're about to score on after a Jackson interception. They go back the other way. Baltimore changed the game. That game was over. They just have too many dumb mistakes. I like Trevor Lawrence too, Fernando, but he's not carrying that team the way they need him to be. I get it. He has that the ankle injury that he suffered 2 weeks ago. That's tough for him to come back and do that. That's credit to him. But he has to play better. They play Tampa Bay next week, Fernando. If they lose that one, maybe we might kiss him goodbye.
I think he's in concussion protocol too.
Yeah, that too. That's gonna be terrible. You can't have CJ Beathard. Yeah, Beathard.
So you're telling me, and not you, Gilbert, but just in general, miss field goal, fumble, and then that end of the half, Gilbert. My God Almighty,
You gotta throw
they
it to
should.
the end zone, not to the sideline.
I couldn't believe that boneheaded pass. Like I was like, "What are you doing?" And then they come out, they score the touchdown. But then they had multiple drives that they made it down all the way to the red zone, and they just couldn't put it in the end zone. And you're like, dude, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think that really
Um,
touchdown should have counted, but by then it was too late.
it was just like, and they kept on turning the ball over. I just thought it was definitely. I just think it was not good at all. I don't know what to make. The Jaguars have just kind of been frauds this whole year, and they have good players, but they just haven't come together. And then obviously the Ravens just keep on winning. But what did you make of what was this game more about, the Jags or the Ravens?
It's definitely more about the Jags and the mistakes they created. It could have been a closer game. They would have scored. They left at least 12 points on the board in the 4 possessions you mentioned, Fernando. But I've been very impressed. I know Dan isn't, but I've been impressed with the Lamar Jackson passing attack the last 2 weeks here. Robert, key to stopping the Ravens and stop the run game. Lamar and the horse is still just an RB to me. Okay. I think he's more obviously, yeah, he got lucky on the throw to Likely, but to escape like the way you want to summarize defending Lamar Jackson, go look at that Jaguars guy, the defender, Smooth, where he's on the ground like this and disbelief because he should have gotten a sack.
Yeah.
That's what makes Lamar Jackson dangerous. Yes, he won't throw for 300
Elusiveness.
passing yards, 100 yards rushing, and 200 yards passing. It's a headache, but I get it. Maybe in the playoffs, you fall behind and you got to throw. Maybe they can't do it. But the Rams game is showing me a lot. The Rams are not, like the other teams in the AFC, like the Browns, maybe a good defense like that. But throwing it Likely, making it work, OBJ, Zay Flowers, they have enough there. They're better than what I expected, but I understand they're not the top of a passing attack.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Peter King on Sky NFL UK or Ireland mentioned that he thought the Brazil game might be the season opener. That would be interesting. Well, yeah, because of the flying and all that, you kind of want to get that out of the way, I guess, because that's flying all the way down. I don't think I've ever been lower than the equator, so that would be an interesting
I don't think I
game
have either.
an interesting game to go down there to. Uh Oh, Robert's coming after you,
Robert,
Gilbert.
it's not about the passing yards. I think what makes him better is the way he extends plays too. It's a nightmare, but I get it. He's not going to be leading the league, and I'm not even sold on his 70% completion percentage because there are a lot of quick throws. but he's accurate. He has some nice deep balls and spirals. So it's not his game to fully do it. But I think when you combine that stat line you mentioned, Fernando, that's prime Jackson. 97 yards rushing, almost 200 yards passing. You know, he had the bad interception, but that's what makes it different.
The crazy part is that last night everybody was celebrating him and saying that he should be the MVP, and then he's going to go
change
face.
their mind every week. I'm tired of
I
this
know
damn
that's
conversation.
how it's gone though. But now, well, there's no clear cut. Uh, he has 10 fumbles also. I think Robert has the stats opened up.
Yeah, he's not a Lamar Jackson fan.
But neither is Dan and Dago. But I really do think that I think that he's going to run into a buzzsaw next week. And usually when Lamar kind of gets roughed up, it's roughed up for a couple of games.
Yeah, we'll find out for that one for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how he handles the speed of the 49ers. Because remember, it's not just Nick Bosa now. It's Chase Young. They have some pass rushers over there.
He's 18-1 against the NFC. The 49ers are not used to playing Lamar. Maybe he does some magic. I don't know. Like maybe you could figure out Lamar in 2 games, but in 1 game, it's very difficult to keep tabs on him.
I don't know. The last 2 primetime games I've seen him, I haven't really been all that like impressed with him. Like against the Chargers, I wasn't impressed with him.
That wasn't a good game.
And then
Rams game, he was impressive.
No, the Rams game, yeah, but this game, again, we're talking about away. Yeah. When he goes away, that's where some teams.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's just going to be interesting to see kind of what happens with him in this game and stuff. And
was that last week too? Damn. Yeah, they did have some points on the 49ers, but it is kind of one of those like let's get it over with kind of games.
Yeah, I mean, stay healthy. Let's just try to get out of here. Like, because I mean, what was let's see. Yeah, they couldn't even run the ball against the Ravens. Well, Trevor Lawrence could, but see, the thing is that these guys don't have the weapons that the 49ers possess. And then 49ers.
Yeah, I wonder how Brock Purdy's going to look against Mike McDonald defense. That could be.
That's what I'm interested in too. Like everybody's crowning now Brock. That's the problem. Everybody's now crowning Brock Purdy as the maybe MVP.
I've lost track. I really don't have. I don't have a vote, obviously, but I really don't know who I would pick right now.
Trent Williams. Go with Dan's pick.
It's just kind of You know.
But yeah, that's what's going to be interesting when it comes to that game. It's going to be the rushing attack, how they come into San Fran. It's Christmas Day, all that stuff. Like everything plays into it.
If McCaffrey goes off in that game, Fernando, maybe he's a guy. MVP.
Yeah. You know, Mozart also has like 23 touchdowns this year, and I'm surprised. Like Mozart,
that's a lot. Yeah,
he's been putting up some games, but I just don't know because, like you said, every week the way teams attack each other, it kind of changes. Like the Ravens last week played against the Rams differently than they played this week. This week, like last night, I thought it was more of like punching each other in the face, kind of trying to see how far one could go. And it was just that the Ravens have such a good defense. They're suffocating. So that's why I'm saying like it's going to be interesting to see the way they try and attack McCaffrey and Brock Purdy. But I don't know, something's going to give in that game. But I agree with you. He's bad.
This will suck for Jack. Yeah.
Yeah. As a Raiders fan, we'll need to see a Chiefs versus Niners Super Bowl. I'd love to root for KC as a NorCal guy. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the pick your poison, Chiefs and 49ers for Raiders fans, because we all know Joe Morley. Joe Morley's the first one like crapping on the Niners fan base. He fumbles. He craps on the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see what happens there. None of the QBs should be the MVP. Okay, but do you think if Tyreek was healthy, he'd probably win?
Yeah.
I think CMC is I agree with Gilbert. I think CMC is the closest one. And then if they beat the Ravens, I'm definitely interested to see.
The 49ers should watch what the Rams did. They're running the football pretty heavily on that Ravens defense. Maybe feed CMC in that game.
I'm not overlooking John Harbaugh here. I think John Harbaugh is one of the best. Gilbert, what did I say? Oh, my bad.
All over the place conversation. I love it, though. All these comments coming in.
Dude, okay, I said before the season that I thought it was laughable that people said that if John Harbaugh didn't make it to the playoffs, they'd fire him. I'm like, every other team would be lining up to get him as a head coach because John Harbaugh knows how to motivate his team. They love him. They're gonna fight for him. So I think John Harbaugh is one of the best teams. I'm sure he'll have his team ready to go. I just think that the 49ers are a very good team, and their defense
Yeah.
aggressive and they're playing well.
I
But
want to give the Ravens a chance, but in the back of my mind, I feel like it's probably gonna be a blowout.
the problem is that for some reason the 49ers just as soon as the lights turn on, the 49ers get ready to play. Like I'm talking about night games. In night games, they just thrash whoever the hell's in front of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I totally forgot about their 3-game losing streak. That's a long time ago.
same thing with Tomlin and Steelers fans now.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, Steeler fans want Tomlin out,
Oh,
so I'm sure other
they
teams are
better
gonna.
not do that because anybody else gonna pick up that phone quickly to get Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is. I think no, I definitely would put Mike Tomlin up there. Like if it's the Jim Harbaugh, the Bill Belichick, and Mike Tomlin, those three guys are going to be at the top of everybody's list on head coach that they want to get. Like those three guys are so talented that and they know how to win that I'm sure they'll be ready to go. But
Imagine where like the floor for Tomlin is 9 wins every year and a good defense, and you don't want that suddenly because it was one bad year. Like get out of here. Then no way Pittsburgh would do that, but I guess you never know.
I'm interested to see what happens with the AFC South. That AFC South, there's a three-way tie now there, and I'm like,
I wouldn't
damn,
be
like,
surprised if the Colts get first place next week because the Jaguars play the Buccaneers in Tampa, and I think the Houston Texans host the Browns, and the Colts are playing in Atlanta. Might break their way.
Colts playing Atlanta. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. And I think I saw that they're thinking about doing a quarterback change that Taylor Heineke might start for
Oh yeah, that's
Atlanta.
why I
So
think Arthur Smith is he gone.
Tomlin or Vrabel. You know what's funny? If Vrabel also became a head coach, yeah. I mean, well, and Vrabel hasn't won a Super Bowl. Well, Harbaugh hasn't either. But I think those four guys would instantly like. I think some teams would like. They might not be prepared to fire their head coach, but they might fire their head coach if they feel like they have an opportunity at one of those four guys. So I definitely agree. I agree with all that. But to me, the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. But I love to pick over. I agree, Athir. I agree with you.
Not
I
bad.
think the Ravens right now are the best team. They've been the most consistent as of late in the AFC. The Bills are a dark horse. I'm telling you, if the Bills get into the playoffs in the first round, they have to go to Kansas City. They could end up upsetting Kansas City unless oh no, Kansas City can't hit the road because Denver lost. So yeah, and I don't think Kansas City loses another game this season. I'd be very surprised.
Mm.
But all right.
Yeah. Let me
Pick
do a
one
quick
everyone.
promo for now before we get out of here.
Yeah. Go
You
ahead.
want to help out your boys, the Compas. We're trying to get to Super Bowl Radio Row in Las Vegas. Jack maybe won't be the 49ers and the Chiefs, but the Compas are trying to get there in Las Vegas to cover Super Bowl Radio Row, to have a bunch of interviews in person. And that could be a little pricey trying to pay for housing and equipment. So you want to help out the Compas get to Super Bowl Radio Row. Check out the link in the description. We have a PayPal donation link, but no pressure. You can't get anything. No worries. It's December. It gets pricey out here. So, but we want to put it out there. We also have a bunch of like live sticker tabs here too. You want to help out. If you see one of our videos and it says that the thank you sticker, you want to provide something there too. Doesn't have to be a lot, but no pressure too. We had a couple of donations coming in last week, and it made us so happy. We saw Alan's comment, like just a comment like that, saying how you like the show makes our day or week. So we really appreciate all the support.
Yeah, no, 100%. We definitely appreciate it, and like we said, we're trying to go out there and give you guys great content. I mean, we've had some fun interviews in the past, and obviously Vegas is going to be a lot more interesting. I think a lot of people are gonna. I think it's going to be like the LA one. I think Phoenix was kind of like up and down. I think the Vegas it's going to be like LA. Like everybody's going to come out and try and be out there. So
Yeah, we need to do the trifecta. We need to get a boxer on, a UFC champion, and a wrestler, WWE,
yeah,
and a bunch of
no,
NFL players, obviously.
well, yeah, exactly. So, Bills scare me if they see my Ravens. A fear, yeah, that definitely would be interesting. But,
And check out
uh,
Rapid Fire on our YouTube channel later on today for this question: Tyreek or CMC?
ooh, oof, I don't know. I'm not gonna pick right now. But
Come
obviously,
on.
we appreciate you guys so much for checking it out. Hey, we had a great crowd today. We appreciate that. Make sure next Tuesday we're gonna do the live. We're not gonna do it on Monday. We're gonna do it
That's
on
right.
Tuesday. That way. Oh, actually, Will Clapp has just been put on IR. So there you go for whoever asked me about Will Clapp going on IR. The Chargers just placed him on IR, so
Oh,
that ends his season. But yeah, so definitely make sure you guys tune in. We will be back next week.
Next
Thank you
Tuesday,
guys
like you
again.
mentioned, the 26th.
Yeah, we're gonna be Tuesday the 26th. So on the 25th, don't be like, oh, where are these guys? Gilbert's probably eating pozole. I don't know what I'll be doing. But make sure you guys we appreciate. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Merry Christmas to everybody. We appreciate you guys so much. Definitely hope that you guys are surrounded by your loved ones again. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. 2023 is starting to come to a close, but we couldn't have had all the success that we've had without you guys. So again, we appreciate you guys so much. Have a good one. And we will be back. Don't forget to check out Compas on the Beat on Tuesday. We will be dropping the episode. Dan and Dago, Vic, the producer, will be jumping on. So make sure you guys check that out. Again, thank you guys so much, and have a good one.